is Moose. He is a 10-year-old thoroughbred. He's technically off the track, but it's been a very long time since he raced. He won like $100, and then his owner retired him and his buddy, and she kept them for probably, gosh, 8 years, just boarding them with a trainer. So they've been pretty much turned out their whole life. About the end of December, beginning of January, the trainer reached out to us to see if we would be interested in taking them on as potential lesson horses. And Moose has done a great job becoming a lesson horse, coming back into work after a very long break in this past January, and then in June he went to his first Western Dressage horse show just to get a taste of things. And generally speaking, he's a pretty laid back guy. I think he's very stoic. He might have some aches and pains, but he doesn't really let it on. He's pretty expressive with his ears though. So whenever you kind of hit one of those spots, his ears tell the story. We're going to start with a gait assessment. He has some like very small asymmetries. They're not super noticeable, but you're really looking for them. The main one would be that his right foot, I don't know if you can see really, but his right foot is kind of wider and flatter than his left foot, which is more, not clubbed, but more of that shape. So I think as a result, he is compensating his pectoral muscle here just slightly bigger than the left. When he's trotting, you tend to notice, especially if the ground is harder, you tend to notice that he favors his right a little bit more. In his neck, this part of the scalenus muscle is larger than the other side. Similar with the parietal, only very, 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 very small difference. You can kind of see it as a little bit. He does have some big sensitivity over his ears, especially this right ear. I think he carries some tension. His eyes always look a little blurry. I really think it's just tension that he's carrying. And then the same in his mouth. He's not a fan of bits. He tries to back away. His teeth were done probably a little over a year ago, so he's probably due for his teeth. Generally speaking, he's very like willing and ready to go to work. And of course, he has some little things here and there, and I think just learning to release the tension will help him a lot. So we'll start with the gait assessment, and then go from there. So as he's walking away, I notice, other than not wanting to walk, he is crossing his hind left over quite a bit into the middle of his track, almost tightrope walking in a way, not so much doing it with the right hind as he is the left hind. That's something I hadn't really noticed before when he was being worked. This is a bad view as the camera cut his legs off. He was running a little slow this morning, so I tried a little extra encouragement to get him to trot. And that didn't help either. He just walking a little bit faster. So I switch to the lunge line. And now you can see he's kind of pulling himself along from the front end. He's favoring that right, also trying to avoid our obstacles there. He's got a bit of a head bob going along with that right side. He has a nice trot. He's just a little off. Now he's got a little more right hind going into the center of his track, but he was also turning. Going to the right on the lunge line is not really his favorite. And really, he just needs to use his hind end a bit more and push himself rather than drag himself and not run into the dressage letters. So as you can see, that right side, he's really got kind of some soreness and he's got a bit of a bob to him, especially today. And that just kind of comes and goes based on footing and different things. But obviously a hoof asymmetry is going to take some time to grow out. So in the meantime, giving some maintenance, keep him happy. So now we're going to switch those here. Check our camera. Make sure you can see him. Back up a little. Palpate. The TMJ. Not too keen on his ears being messed with too much and being around his ears and his hole. So he might have a bit of tension he's carrying up here. Checking the cervical. Add some tenderness right here in the midsection, right in here. Nothing noticeable. Ties in. He had
tension in there. Okay. Pointing. Nothing noticeable here. Nothing noticeable in the intercostal. She seems to really enjoy that one. A little rain rot in his definitely tension in this right shoulder. I didn't want to let it kind of glide in there. That leg is much better. He stretches that right leg forward much better than he lets that joint go. Not too keen on picking that leg up, but it feels good. stifles and the hops all feel good, but you just kind of continuing with the right side kind of stiffness with that right hind leg. So now we're going to start with the 10-step protocol. Come on, step up. Come on. He's falling asleep already. We'll just start with tuning in. I'm gonna let him sit with that for a second. He's very stoic, so he doesn't always release right away. He's kind of like dipping his head and he's processing it. You can see his lip quivering and his nostrils quivering. Now we're going to do the pole release. Sit with that one as well. He's not real. That lip is getting droopier. I had a phone call, so the video stopped. Now we're doing the cervicals. a very large horse. He's like 16 hands or so. He's just really letting into it. Palpation, he was trying to relax his feet, and now he's not quite solidly square, but he's much more even and not trying to relax that hind foot. He just fixed himself. He's much more square now. Getting phone calls that keep turning off the camera. doesn't give real strong releases. Sometimes he does, but he's just being very, very, very subtle, and he's just getting more and more relaxed. He's standing very, very square now as well. The sacrum. Instantly relax that tail. And the leg unleash. Move the camera closer. I'm going to do the ear release. Good boy. He likes that one for sure. Like I said, he doesn't get big releases, but he gets more relaxed and more relaxed. And then he'll let one out like that. He tends to carry lots of tension. You can see how he's kind of a worried eye, and I think it's all like weird. I'm gonna try the mouth release. Not a big fan. But much faster today. Do you like that one, buddy? We're gonna do the nose release. Good boy. I feel like the muscles in the oculus are starting to really relax. I'm going to try the parietal. Actually really enjoys having these muscles massaged. Little David looking at you. Alright, so that's all for today. He's not quite as square as he was once I started messing with his legs. He kind of got out. But he was standing very, very square through the majority of the releases. He's very, very relaxed. He can tend to be sort of not so much antsy, but kind of wiggly and move around a lot. So the fact that he's done this without being tied up with just the rope over his neck is kind of a big deal. Very much more relaxed, and I feel like those muscles around his eyes are starting to relax more as well. I think he just carries a lot of tension in his head and that shoulder. Oh, he just woke up. All right, thank you.